workout shirt. I'm trying to get all
They're soft sleeves. That's right. Good morning, infidels. Time to get up. Look at the sun, so pretty today. It's so bright. It's smashing, lasting, helps the grass out. Smile when it's morning time. Last night I wrote 3 rhymes, infidels, but we're back. It's Big Stevie, Cool Hacker Hamin, the Ultra Kayfabe Declassified Thursday taping of your Friday locker room here, Hamin Media Group. YOLO. Yeah, man. Back at it. I feel the power of the coffee rolling through me. Let's say until it makes the power of the salad I had from last night and see if I can't break the 40-yard dash world record here again today. But yeah, man, he was up early on the squat deck, getting that 1,000-pound lift in, looking great, looking tan. It's the man, Stevie Richards. How you doing this morning, pal?
the workout is the easy part, but being a one-man production crew and having the SD card run out of space and then having the battery go dead and then like it's just, you know. And then I said to my wife, I said, I think we're running out of room. She just looked at me like, you think so?
You want to start that shit this morning, funny guy? Oh, that's good. Oh, yeah, dude. I don't know. I tossed and turned. Maybe it's the super blood moon. Had me tossing and turning last night, but I even went to bed early because I tried to flip on Dynamite to do a live watch along, and it's pushed till Friday at 10 p.m. And I'm going, wow, what a huge missed opportunity for promotion, because I know they were doing the deal, but it wasn't like, oh, you're gone. Next week you're over there.
Oh, it was that quick.
That quick, bro. That quick.
Wow.
No commercials like in the spot at 8 o'clock or 7:30, you know, of like Friday, party Friday with every superstar, do a little montage and pump the numbers to have a kickoff party or something, super kickoff party maybe. But yeah, just I checked Twitter and people were like, what the fuck? It's not on.
So in the comments, they said for the next 2 weeks. So now you're going to go to Friday. People are going to try to find you. Then you're going to come back to Wednesday to eventually be kicked off to Friday anyway. And,
you know, 4 hours of wrestling on Friday is going to be awesome. From SmackDown right into AEW. Dude.
Do you think any show Friday at 10 p.m. is going to do well?
No, not at all. All they could really do is, and I think this is a huge miss, if they're copying WCW, one of the things that really made WCW its own thing and really stand out and get to the college kids and get to a demographic that was much sought after. What do you think I'm going to say?
Spring break?
Close. That's very good. But the Nitro parties, when they would cut to people at home having a good time, and like, granted, with COVID, that would have been the way to like have the police knocking on your door. But
okay, here's the thing: the people. I'm going to cut you off right there.
Okay,
they're going to cut to the people that are doing what you're doing right now. They're like, oh God, this. Those were actually exciting times. Those things were going on, and those were. Can you imagine cutting to the homes of people watching any wrestling today?
Well, could we do it where it's a setup where they have people from last week tape them and then we use them next week of them watching, but it looks like in real time that they're actually watching what's going on this week? Just those trips around to like frat houses or people at home, I get it totally, but maybe there'd be some cool cosplay ones. Like, you really got to go out of your way, give them the laundry list, make sure your place is cleaned up, like whatever you're doing, but we want to start empowering the fans to be part of the show more than they are just sitting there singing Jericho's fucking theme song like assholes trying to get themselves over. So I think Nitro Party is a big piece that's missing. No, I'm wrong on this. Okay.
But no, you're not wrong. But they have to they have to take the potential of Plexiglass Sleeper or Mike Tyson Sleeper out. It's going to have to be indie workers watching it. And so basically, it's the same thing as the crowd of indie workers. Now it's going to be indie workers watching, which, what do you think that does to indie workers as far as their credibility?
Yeah.
They have to do a canned response type thing with that.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe. I mean,
or we'll get the Benoit pictures. We'll get the live executions like the LED panel set.
That's a good. would it be smart if they're going to do that to like actually empower the indies? Like, hey, this is, I'll give them a plug, Excite Wrestling or Titan Championships Wrestling Watch Along, where they have their whole crew of like indie wrestlers, and it's a setup and fix, but you're kind of getting a highlight for the indies where your AEW guys might go to do a main event or something like that.
You could, or you'd have, Mom, I'm watching wrestling.
No, don't look at me. Don't open the door. Oh, man. But it's been a very interesting week as some, dirt comes to the surface or apologies or whatever it is, firing. Some weeks are a little more wrestling blasé than others, but this week we definitely had all of the spring cleaning tenements, from bloodbath of talent from on camera to big office positions. And, Stephanie trying to toe the corporate line. I saw somebody tweeted out her talking about the Peacock deal and them now being able to license their library to them, frees them up to do focus on what they do best, storyline and creative. Meanwhile, the script gets written up or ripped up 45 minutes before go time, Stevie. Like, what is really going on over there that they're ripping up scripts like this? And we've seen it, heard about it at other shows. And then this week's show, a 1.62 and the lowest rating and audience in the demographic they've ever had, with a show in the main event where it left us scratching our heads. the go home is setting up Reggie and Shayna Baszler for next week. Like, what the fuck is going on, bro?
But at least it got people talking, saying, what the fuck is going on? That's probably what happened.
Let me put this in your lap too. There's, like, yesterday, William Alcia reports in the Hamin media discussion group, there's talks that WWE may be sold fully. There's a couple guys like, no, it'll never happen. Boom, an hour later, out comes a story that NBC by 2023 may own WWE fully, and the WWE will still run their show, but it'll all be going through NBC. That's a very interesting look. Go ahead, man.
Well, I don't think USA Network gets a script approval or gets any kind of script knowledge previous to the show, or else they would probably step in, because even Fox, you said that there's a chance, well, NBC looking at this, it's an opportunity, but Fox doesn't want WWE anymore. We've heard they're already unhappy, which they should be. It's amazing, like when Stephanie and Hunter and Vince or anybody within the company, it could be Nick Khan soon, because he's running on a Bill Watts type deal. He's incentivized to make Vince money, not to have a good product, right? So the more money or the opportunities for partnerships that Nick Khan brings in, Nick Khan gets a bump in pay. He gets a bonus.
He's like a double agent, because he's got the Rolodex, but he's a and I've seen this. I've had this happen to me. He's an upper level Iceman to get rid of high contract people, and look how you can consolidate and somebody
he's
to put
Bill Watts. This is how our bottom line looks now.
Yes. And then to get the bigger deals done with like zombies, to get this fast money using his Rolodex, but he was pretty much brought in to do this and get the buyout deal set up with whoever it was going to be, possibly NBC here is what we're hearing. And then once that's done, he's just going to move on and do it again for whoever else needs to. This is what this guy does. Big money deals for corporate buyouts while streamlining and trimming the fat of guaranteed bigger upper level contracts.
Well, let's talk about this, because we're going to go into the Cena stuff, obviously, with our lower thirds, and we're going to continue to run that rib till it's dead. Nothing is genuine anymore. Nothing is real. There's almost like you hear Stephanie talk. It's almost like either a troll or a Jedi mind trick.
Yep.
Which we are great. We are great. We are great. You'll believe we are great. Anything that's talked about is essentially, like you said, everything that's kind of like that we see as far as a pattern. This company's setting themselves up to be bought. We said that with Disney, that Disney could possibly do it. When we started the Raw SmackDown review, we thought Fox might buy them. Every move that they made is not for them to stand up on their Saudi Arabia. Well, Saudi Arabia, and who has Disney and Fox ties, will they buy? WWE is setting themselves up to have a portfolio, not to have the best product out there. But they continue to talk like they write 1 year ahead of time. They really care about their workers. They want to be the family, one big family. They want to put all this, like you said before, gay rights. They want to do all. They don't ever follow through with it, but they get enough of the PR, women's evolution. They get enough of the PR that they get the benefit, and then they can just forget about it. Jedi mind trick.
Yep. Well, it's what's coming next. Maybe not next. 2 hops down the road is going to be a big green and carbon initiative, and that's going to be.
They're going to be carbon neutral lighting and all that bullshit.
All that, dude, is going to get pumped.
Now, here's the funny thing: they could have done the Green New Deal spin by saying we're staying at the Thunderdome because it's more environmentally friendly. Going on the road goes against it if they try to go that way.
All their trucks will be lithium battery run as well. All that kind of shit.
By the way, did you see that meme that says that like the pipeline is so anti-environment and it's running through a beautiful forest and mountains and stuff, and then they go and they say, but the lithium mines are green and friendly, and it's stripped the fuck. It looks like they
strip mine the whole place. That's awesome.
Yeah, it looks like a Wild Wild West ghost town compared to the pipeline.
Speaking of strippers, I got the man himself who just got off from the late shift. He's here hot on the line. It's Billy the Kid. Good morning, pal.
What's up, buddy? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, man. You're on with Big Stevie Cool and me on the Friday locker room early taping here, man. I got your message. I didn't want to leave you hanging. That's awesome. I don't want to stooge it off on air here, but I definitely didn't want to. I missed your call there, so let's give this guy a call back from the Wednesday locker room. Billy Ray Valentine.
What's up, man? I think it's the first time I've been on the Friday locker room, so
really,
I'm pretty happy about that. Yeah, I think so. I think I've been on every other show except for Friday locker room, so that's pretty cool. I mean, maybe I have one time with you, Ben. I think I co-hosted once with you.
Possibly.
But I saw you guys live, and I was like, why is this dude calling me?
Well,
what's up, Stevie? What's good?
What's that?
I said, what's up, brother? How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I just saw your message because when you send the group text, I don't see it on the computer because Ben's got an Android phone for some odd reason. So I don't see that on my computer, but yeah, it's good to hear from you. I seen the message. That's big news. That's awesome. And I know you got a lot of stuff going on.
We need to talk when we get off the air. If you guys have time, shoot me a call. I may not be home, but I'll pick up on my cell phone and I have more stuff I want to talk to you guys about. 2 more things that are potentially good. But
so you got those? You bought those John Cena shirts? Is that what you're going to tell us? I will listen to the Wednesday locker room. You seem to be a huge fan.
You can't G me. Those ones. I bought that one.
Nice.
1-2-Z. 1-2-Z. Easy as 1-2-Z.
It just goes to show, right? The power that freaking China yields over people. I mean, over entities economically. Like the NBA bows down to China every chance they get, and now the WWE is bowing down to China. Freaking what is it? The freaking movie company that Cena's working for. Everybody has to bow down to China. You can't say the obvious that Taiwan is its own country. You can't say that, just because the Chinese look at it differently. So that's the world we're living in, right?
Well, I was going to say, Billy Ray, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. What's up?
I was going to say that I was just saying to Ben that on an overarching thing, we know this is people that have been diving into conspiracies and deconstructing media and everything. But this thing with Cena re-ups the view of the NBA and LeBron and all this other stuff. The way it looks, nothing is genuine anymore. More than ever, people need to just ignore all this stuff. Like, quite frankly, if I didn't get paid to watch wrestling, I wouldn't watch it after seeing something like this. And I don't care about football anymore. I don't care about sports. I don't even care about movies and TV that much. I watch YouTube probably 99% of the time. They're doing exactly the opposite of what they think they're doing, but they're all in their bubble, and that the country club ass kissing and, of course, payoffs is all they care about.
Right.
You guys
No,
are,
I'm 100% behind you on that. What's up?
you're not going to believe this, but I got a message from YouTube this morning, and after review, my channel is still demonetized. I can't believe that they didn't remonetize it.
They looked into it.
They looked into it, and it just doesn't meet the criteria for remonetization. But in another month from now, I can reapply then. So I won't take any videos down, and we'll see what happens. But yeah, man, all the China stuff is crazy, but it goes to show, and I put this in our private chat, but there's three mobs that run everything now, and the power has changed hands, not from political American power, but obviously China owning Hollywood and all of our major sports entities to get top tier players and celebrities to bow down and toe the line. If there's anything against the gay mafia said that, not even against them, that just goes against their insane agenda, or even has a question of why you're banned that way. And obviously Israel, and now with anything that you might want to try and put out there that where they're actually doing colonization and genocide of Gaza Strip. Well, if you were to say that, that's it for you. Like you can't put that out there and say that. Or that Taiwan is not its own country and that it's the state of the Republic of China. Like, it's unbelievable, man, of they will just make you bend the knee if you are in the entertainment business at all, or they'll just do whatever they can to cancel you. But those are the three groups right now that are not to be crossed.
And you guys are well aware, and probably a lot of the people that are listening right now are well aware that China was built up by the Trilateral Commission. Rockefeller and Kissinger.
Mm-hmm.
They were instrumental in building up China to what it is right now. But also, what we need to keep an eye on is the fact that right now they're saying that the virus was genetically engineered, right? That it was not natural and that it came out of the Wuhan lab. This is in mainstream now. This is on CNN. This is on Fox News. They're openly saying this. It's like, how bad can we make China look in the eyes of the American public? And not only that, the Wuhan lab was funded by the United States.
And Bill Gates and Fauci were original in it as well.
Right, exactly. They gain of function experiments with Fauci and all these other people. That's why Fauci knows it's bullshit, right? That's what he said. He was like, it doesn't look natural. He knows it doesn't look natural because he's been knee deep in the gain of function experiments for years now. So, but also what we need to look at is that they're pointing at China. They want to start some type of war with China. I don't know if it's a hot war or a cold war, most likely a cold war, but they're pointing in that direction for a reason. So everything that's being put out there, we're being manipulated. And we all know this already, but it's good to reinforce that. No matter how right it is or how wrong it is, it has a purpose behind it. It's mind control.
I'm going to need you to apologize in Mandarin.
Sure.
Yeah. There is an opportunity. Every time I see that Cena video, there's an opportunity for anybody to meme it out with their own subtitles. Like, I'm going to put, yes, StevieRichardsFitness.com is definitely the most affordable, accessible workout program on the planet.
Yeah. Awesome. We will definitely get a hold of you, man, though, to run it down with all that great possibility that had me really smiling this morning. So thanks for pulling strings.
Please do. As soon as you guys are done, please call me. I got a lot to tell you. Classified Chappie, what's good? Frank's Pickle Barrel Ass, what's good, brother? How are you? Who else is here, man? Who else is here? How many people we got here?
We got 40 live.
We're 40 strong right now.
Yeah, Ken Sorrell, RS, Canadian Spaceman, Hope Spots in the house, Larry Weaver, see you, all the heads who were here early this morning.
Everybody gets demonetized for being in the chat room, by the way.
Yeah.
Just for being
Everyone,
in the chat.
all of your Twitch channels are demonetized. Yeah. All of your YouTube's demonetized.
Gammy's here, freaking Bernie DC. High Spot Brands, everybody. What's good? And thank you, guys. Make sure you call me, please. All right?
Will do, buddy. Thank you. There he goes. Billy the Kid, your Wednesday locker room, Infinite Fringe, conspiracy master producer, man. So I didn't want to fave his call. I said, why not bring him right in there, Stevie?
Billy Ray's definitely got, we haven't caught up with him. He's got a lot going on with his own brand, his own content, much like we're trying to figure out other methods, because that's all it is, whack-a-mole, and where the mall's getting whacked everywhere, trying to pop our head up to do something to. It's definitely, we're in the Cena thing. It just might have put it a little bit more in the mainstream, but my God, we are in a mark of the beast society right now. We're getting to that. Did you see that governor thing I sent you from the governor of Connecticut?
Dude, I was on with beautiful people for their VIP watch along, because it's from Connecticut, right? And that's where Velvet is.
Mm-hmm.
And like they were going off about it because they saw it the night before. Angelina stalked the dude who was the actor at the hibachi, because he had a picture of him and the governor like doing my commercial shoot with the governor. Then she fucking lit him up, trolled the dude on his own shit. He only had like 500 followers, but she was so triggered at how bad that was that she went out of her way to blast him. And he probably looked her up and was like, what the fuck, got heat or whatever with over people. So then as soon as I got done with them, you sent it. It's utterly grotesque, bro. Get the jab or pay the tab. Everybody at the bar and in the hibachi place is getting free drinks and free fucking food, and the governor's serving them up. And then the drink is called the governor. Everyone's like, the governor, give me another governor, and fucking putting the drink up in the air so he gets himself over. One person has the mask on, and he goes, oh, you're still wearing a mask. Well, you don't want to get the jab, then you get stuck with a tab, and fucking throws it at her. So does that mean there's higher taxation for unvaccinated people? Is there a database already of what's going on with that? And I thought if you were wearing a mask, it's because you care about others. Like maybe she is vaccinated and has a mask on. So it was
literally the fifth grade cafeteria of, you don't belong with us. It was everything wrong with what humanity is supposed to be, of being, and he's a Democrat, so that's all inclusive liberal. Everybody, we love everybody, but not you, not you, not you. And it was a shitty, and you want to talk about the fucking, he has the charisma of this fucking glass screen protector.
Yeah.
It was like, and he thought, and I'm sure everybody around him, like the Vince McMahon country club ass kissing and grill. Oh, that was so good.
Oh, that felt like Connecticut, didn't it? Didn't
I used to live in Connecticut, and I'm so glad I don't anymore. I mean, shit, dude. And they, that's the only one we found. There could be 50 of those out there. Well, actually, 48, because I know Texas and Florida aren't doing that shit.
Well, and I saw that on that, dude, everything. There was no like, this is what
everybody was like, this,
on there, bro. What, like, he should fire his whole inner circle that didn't protect him from saying that.
But that's no different than anybody, Republican or Democrat. And every time some shit like this happens, the Republicans or anybody in office that even oppose it have more that they can just stand there and talk about what they did wrong. Well, they're all a bunch of do-nothings.
Mm-hmm.
They're doing the same thing WWE does when they say, oh, we're going back to storylines, what we do well. It's one, the most terrifying words ever on the planet is what Reagan said when they say, I'm from the government and I'm here to help.
Yeah.
Never run.
Yep.
So that's just, and as workers, when you're giving us something for free, we know it's not free.
Everything comes with a price.
Catering, we're paying for. The flights we're paying for, and then the free lunch or the free drink or the free steak and shake or Shake Shack or what, dude, it's just, I'm glad they're so not self-aware, because regular people are starting to see what a bunch of bullshit this is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, especially with things like that are so just egregiously like sad.
Well, we always sit here and we're like, hey, before we get on the show, we're always sitting here going, yeah, I mean, I have my Rodecaster Pro here and I'm vaccinated. So I know when I touch the sound button because I'm vaccinated, that the virus won't spread because I'm vaccinated. And that's exactly the cadence of tell everybody every sentence that you're vaccinated.
Yep. And
rest in peace. That's all I got to fucking say.
Or the mind fuck of with no mask vaccinated, where we're here like they're not wearing their mask. Are they vaccinated? Are they I can't tell. Now it's like the pride. Now it's you're like, you're marked if you have a mask on. So
Mark of the beast.
Mark of the
Now,
beast.
whether you believe in it or not, there's definitely the ability, even when I go into Walmart, and I know this isn't wrestling stuff, but the wrestling now is injected into it, no pun intended, with Cena. So when I go to Walmart, my first trip at Walmart, a lot of dirty looks, a lot of like, I have one that can see, kind of like they live, like they were talking amongst themselves. The second time I went, they knew I was the guy that didn't wear the mask last time. Walmart workers were in every aisle. Oh, sir, how are you doing? Like they never talk to you, but they're talking to me now.
Right.
They're trying to chat it up as the TSA trying to profile me to see like, hey, is he going to tell me he's vaccinated or what? I can just feel it. Or the people literally jumping out of my way. And these are, without saying, these are fat, unhealthy fucks that are jumping out of my way as I walk because I'm a health risk to them. So a series going off. It's just funny to see the reverse of the idiocracy, that the people that don't know shit and are just doing whatever they're told are demonizing and vilifying the people that are informed or think for themselves or are very cautious because there's no informed consent with the supposed vaccine.
There's no way to really look and check. Are they lying to me? It's that fucking thing.
Well, businesses can ask you now. So they can ask you if you're vaccinated. And if you refuse to answer, or if you say, or if they think you're lying now. So if they think you're lying, they can throw you out of the business.
Yeah. Well, but then what are we supposed to, because I could easily go, oh no, I'm not. And I don't wear a mask. I'm fine. I'm perfectly healthy. And they're like, no, we don't serve unvaxxed. Or if they ask me, I just go, yeah. And then what are they going to do? What are you really? Let me see your number.
Papers.
Yeah. Well, no, I don't walk around with my papers on me. I'm sorry. They're at home. Now we're in a back and forth acting scene where I'm lying to you to try and convince you just so we can get a fucking.
But that's what they want.
Yeah, sure.
Because you know why? Oh, you don't have your papers, but you have your phone. Oh, you don't have your phone. Let's make sure that glows in the dark.
That Luciferon, let me see that real quick under the club light. That's exactly what it is. And the insanity will never stop because of it until we say enough's enough and it's time for a change. I saw earlier Jared Cantor asked if I was speaking of wrestling. Did I see the Billy Gunn spot, the Gun Club versus Young Cal Hero and his partner? Did you see the spot on that, Stevie, or no?
I haven't watched it. I was too busy doing a million takes of my horrible research.
It was just dark. I just saw this. Dude, the kid goes to do a straight through the middle rope dive on Billy Gunn, sidesteps and pushes him down. Kid falls on his head into the fucking railing going Mach 4. Billy never even tried to stop him. I popped. I mean,
was it the Heroes kid?
No, Cal's in the corner selling.
So I care about that kid, but not the other
yeah, one. Well, Billy's his fucking, surrogate uncle, and Cal's got plenty of people looking out for him. But like, Billy's like, fuck this bullshit dive. And I don't know if he was supposed to push or not, but the kid got fucking blasted and knocked out into the railing. So strong style going over. Yeah, man. I'm excited to talk to Billy Ray after this.
Dude, Plaja said his doctor said he could kill someone, meaning he's not vaccinated, I guess. And he goes, he got all three because he's not going to die of COVID. So he got all three versions of the vaccine.
Yeah.
Is that what I'm reading?
He's just busting balls. He went, this is a real conversation. The doctor got all three.
The doctor got all three of them.
Good for him. Super smart.
He can get all 2 million or 200 million of them for all I care.
Yeah, Plaza's been hot, man, when he's had to go to the doctor. Like, they've really taken whoever his.
I have to go tomorrow. I have to go tomorrow for my annual. That'll be very interesting.
Maybe do a little hidden camera.
Let's see.
Get wired up. He's taking a lot of heat. I know he's hit me up in chat of just like, I can't believe it's his doctor, the person who should be really watching out for his health, towing the heaviest propaganda line,
Well, I mean, how many of those doctors got the free cruises for prescribing chemo to cancer patients.
I was going to say this too. How about the New York? Somebody hit up in the producers chat. 14 or 12 to 17-year-olds who get vaxxed in New York State will be entered to win in a lottery to win a 4-year scholarship to college.
Well, we all know college is bullshit at this point. You're not doing any favors.
But what I'm saying is,
that's a punishment.
Look at all those people who got jabbed. They didn't hold out. Stevie, are we going to get to the point of a head writer contract if you get the fucking? Will
you do it then?
No.
Let's just think about it. When is the government or anybody ever given anything away for free without a hook?
What that hook gonna be? Why are they doing that? What's the bigger why they would promise all of these fucking lottery tickets and shit like that? Name your price, make a deal on your health, because this is going to sterilize the next generation. That's what these types of mRNA concoctions do, that they've been tested on animals to do that. And this goes right in line with everything that Gates and Fauci and their occultism want to do. Go look at the Georgia Guidestones. 500,000 people max on the earth. They want mass depopulation. They want to toe China's game. What did China do for 40 years? Took babies and threw them into fucking waste fucking into landfills and shit like that. You can only have one kid. Like, they're committed to genocide even of their own people to get forth a one world order of how they want it. And you think they're not doing this for a long-term agenda? They absolutely are to depopulate.
I'm just saying this not because I believe in it, but just for what I witness. You see these people that are so excited about getting this stuff. You see these people that are so excited about getting controlled. These people that are so excited about the government saving them. Shouldn't. I mean, there could be quite a logical argument that they should be sterilized. I'm just saying. I'm not saying they should. Nobody deserves that. You need to make that choice for yourself. But when the government hates these people and thinks they're too stupid for any kind of life outside of being governed and controlled by the government, they're proving the point right. There's a reason why those people exist, to want to control these people. If nobody wanted to be controlled, this government wouldn't exist.
We're about 5 months away too from the first crop of next generation that's going to be born, because we really only been getting vaxxed for 4 months, right?
Well, the weird part is that the birth rates seem to be up, unless those are false stats. That's why the housing market's getting
home and bored and they're fucking. So, but now they're going to be fucking and having kids with their DNA RNA changed. And if we thought, autism was being upped at massive rates from vaccines for little kids before, what if they're born this way in a new fucking type of autism B or whatever the fuck comes out? You know what I mean? Based out of this, we haven't even gotten to that level of this human experiment yet. Till when? Probably October, end of October, the earliest, November, December. Babies being born then from people who were vaccinated in March. It'll be very interesting to see what deficiencies, if any, hopefully not, but I believe there absolutely will be a whole new, that's when the new crop of humans starts.
We can go forever on this, because also you're not allowed to donate blood nor plasma if you've been vaccinated.
Right.
So think about how many people are going to die without blood and plasma.
So they need
every end of it.
Vax are the ones they need to use our blood.
I have no idea. Autism B sounds like a rapper.
That's like Jake Plissken with the points. Now let's get to the finer points of wrestling, Stevie.
Because that means a lot after what we just talked about.
I know. WWE reportedly held an internal, quote unquote, reassurance meeting after massive layoffs. WWE brass held an internal reassurance meeting after letting go of more than 35 office employees on Tuesday, according to WrestleVotes. The report noted that although the conference included most of the power players, including President and Chief Revenue Officer Nick Khan, it was merely a status quo meeting. Quote, after yesterday's layoffs, I'm told WWE hosted an internal conference today with most of the power players. While the meeting was said to be organized well, it contained nothing of real substance, so status quo, which is what, 1.62 rating. For the why even tweet this then crowd, the point of the tweet was to mention that WWE held the meeting after many people got laid off afterwards. Current employees feel no more assured of anything, so that crowd can, one, unfollow, or two, stay whatever the fuck, dude, trying to get their shit in on Twitter. Shut the fuck up. Follow up with that. Where is it? One stage. On the backstage cuts, this was noted that the film, TV, and social media divisions in Stanford, LA, and were impacted by WWE Studios seeing layoffs in features, TV, digital, social media, which is related to the Advanced Media Group cuts. Deadline backup previous reports, various departments being consolidated into a single division with smaller staff running those operations, reportedly led by longtime employee Kevin Dunn, who was the executive producer and chief of global TV distribution. It was described, the cuts at WWE Studios, as deep, as they were described as a bloodbath to PW Insider via Paul Heyman and Pat Buck for $150. Deadline noted that WWE President and Chief Revenue Officer Nick Khan broke the news of the departures today by phone call. It was noted that Khan and another group of growing power will personally be overseeing the internal offices in order to keep them closer alignment with WWE HQ here in the U.S. We noted that before Jay Rosenstock was released from his job as WWE's Executive Vice President of International, Rosenstock's departure was a part of the internal changes. Rosenstock was responsible for overseeing WWE's 8 international regional managers, but now Khan will handle those duties. Human Resources held a brief call this afternoon to confirm what had been reported earlier today, that employees who remain in the Advanced Digital Media Group divisions would now report to Dunn. The call reportedly did not consist of much more than that. We noted before that the employee meeting is scheduled for Wednesday, yada, yada. Well, we heard that that's just status quo. And then to follow up with that, sorry, Stevie, I just want to get through as many as possible. Nick Khan news, buys a new mansion. Nick Khan invested in a new home, buying an 8,000 square foot home in LA. Dirt.com reports that Khan bought a 5-bedroom home in the Riviera area of Pacific Palisades. Stevie, for how much?
I would say anywhere from 10 to 15 million.
Well, he got a deal, 7.6 million. Behind
must have died in it.
Yeah. Behind the site describes the home as follows. Behind a grand circular motor court and 2 driveway gates, the snazzy interiors contain 8,000 square feet of open living space on 3 levels. Highlights include soaring ceilings, a Bowen Chalatino oak sandwood hard flooring. There's also a wealth of modern conveniences, including numerous remote-controlled skylights, Sonos, Lutron smart home systems, a whole house water filtration system by LifeSource, 12 camera surveillance systems, and color LED lighting throughout. An entrance gallery is flanked by a custom office featuring built-in file drawers, a supply closet, a separate entrance. Beyond that, the mammoth great room holds a dining and living areas, walls of glass doors open to reveal a secluded resort-like backyard with a 40-foot pool and spa, plus an outdoor bath, built-in indoor-outdoor kitchen, fire pit, vegetable garden, and putting green. This all can be yours for $7.6 million. But, you know, the office is in front of the house, so any disgruntled employees who, are good at 200 yards might have a shot at some reciprocity.
Half cake. That's what I think about as that was read off. Oh, by the way, we're cutting 35 people and no raises or bonuses this year. It is definitely, Nick Khan feels very, very stable and comfortable right now. That should be scaring a lot of people that think that their jobs are safe.
Well, I think that he knows he's going to get this NBC deal done for $6 billion. And what's his cut?
Well, the fact that he's still in LA as president of the WWE shows that this thing, the new headquarters are going to be out there in LA. That's my suspicion.
Okay.
What do you think?
I don't know, because in that NBC buyout article that I had sent you, it said that Khan was brought in to do this deal. And when it's done, he's going to go and do the next one. And I wouldn't doubt if he start setting up Disney to buy from NBC so he can just stay ahead of this and get things done, because I see WWE in the future as a Disney park property, an experience that's wrestling around that, you know what I mean? And,
Can't wait to see what that ride looks like.
but they'll bring in, you know, legends to fucking do autographs and have that type of stuff, or there'll be 6 different dudes who play Macho Man in the stage show and shit like that. But I think this guy is an Iceman, and he comes in to do that, big corporate takeovers, and then once it's on, he moves on to the next one. But he's going to get his cut of $6 billion. He knows that, and I believe even at 10%, that's 60 million, right? Or six? No, at 10%, that's 600 million. And so at 1%, that's $6 million or $60 million that he can walk away with, bro. 1% of that deal. So like buying a $8 million house, you don't give a fuck, man.
Oh, and he probably had income before this. Like you said, he has CAA and all these other connections. He could have bought that house with cash, probably.
I wouldn't doubt that at all. But he probably is like, fuck it, why would I? I'm going to walk away from this too. So unless he's, you know, super, I mean, I don't doubt it, super smart in the real estate.
Isn't it funny that Vince usually makes everybody move to Greenwich or Stamford or Weston, Connecticut? Look at this. He made Ace move. He made JR move. He made even that LinkedIn girl and all those people, I think, moved. Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. How many people have moved? Go ahead.
WWE employees set to return to work at company HQ. You're Mr. Segue right here. Employees are set to return to the office in July. WWE held the all hands on deck, fucking yada, 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 with Chief Financial Officer Christine Solen. Reports were that Chairman Vince McMahon was not there for the meeting. Biggest announcement was that all employees will return to their offices in Stamford starting in July. WWE previously gave employees the option to work from home as much as possible, depending on the division of the company they work for due to COVID-19 restrictions last year. The full return to work at HQ in Stamford is not a total shock, as the move is taking place the same time the company returns to touring. So that is interesting even more that they're there and he's in LA, but they also bought a whole new office space, right? So it wasn't going to be at Stamford. Then that kind of died on the vine, or they just have the office space and it's sitting there. I mean, if you don't know Stamford and all that, there's a lot of big buildings that are insurance buildings that kind of get traded hands all the time.
Yeah, Titan Towers it was a 4-story building. I mean, it's like pretty iconic, but they moved there from a previous building that was, I think, in downtown Stamford, and now they're trying to get the new building. I don't know. I mean, it's always been a Connecticut, New York type company, but I see a lot of Florida and LA type stuff because Vince works out of Boca most times now. He's in the pool house, like, well, Linda's up in Connecticut. I don't know, man. There's a lot of stuff that's just, this thing is splintering big time from the base of the family business. And trust me, even though it has stocks and all that stuff, it's a family business. Now it looks like the family's cashing out.
And the quality of the show is the least on their fucking minds.
No, it's almost like the show gets in the way of all the other stuff they're doing.
Right. The property and the library. It's an interesting week, man. I mean, the layoffs up top, up heavy. What does that mean going forward? Like, I'm not saying I'm going to apply for this, that, or other, but there's plenty of people on HMG staff. I hit up Dr. Ted yesterday. I was like, dude, this could be your shot. But, you know, if they're getting rid of 35, they're going to need, I don't want to say scab workers, but they're going to look to replace at a lower price what they need once the dust settles. Who's going to be in the mix for that? But how long is that even going to last? If NBC ends up buying it and taking over, what fail-safe does NBC have in place aside from working with Triple H maybe, and he's been cashing out the last 2 years too. He's got to be sitting on a mountain of fucking cash, right? So the slow draw off maybe before they're buying stock back at a lower price before they sell big, and then they'll really hit again. What is NBC going to have in place to keep wrestling going, repair it, or this damaged product? I mean, there's so many of like, does it just get shelved and this is the end? But this week is a huge catalyst. Somebody dropped a huge, rock in the fucking pond and made some waves, I think, for what's going to happen in the next 2 years. What do you think's going to go down?
They got to be sold. I think they have to be sold before it hits 1.0, or the deal has to get started. Because if they hit at 1.0, what's their valuation? And also, live sports right now are at a premium. But with everybody going woke, with the NBA going woke, with the NFL doing what they're doing, viewership continues to go down. Like the stadiums will be open.
And
who knows?
NBC's rife with that. They already banned how many fucking segments. So they're definitely on the go woke, go broke train.
What does Vince care? I mean, they paid $1 billion. They basically, he got $1 billion and they might get $4 to $6 billion. So $7 billion potentially. And if he can't live off of that and what he's made over the past 21, 40 years, whatever.
Country for $7 billion, man.
Don't give him any ideas.
Oh, shit. Speaking of shit, Randy Orton responds to AEW star asking someone to defecate in his bag. Back in 2005, former superstar Rochelle Lowen came forward to speak out that Randy Orton's behavior toward women in the locker room. Rochelle alleged that Orton vandalized her belongings and possibly shit in her bag. There was also chatter of Orton pooping in Amy Weber's suitcase. Weber denied those rumors in 2012, although it was never proven that Orton took a dump in any WWE Divas bag. The infamous poop prank continues to be associated with the Viper and remains a running joke in pro wrestling circles. On Wednesday, AEW star Trent seemingly brought up the joke again upon purchasing a new Xbox controller. Trent tweeted, "I bought an Xbox controller that's the same color as my wrestling gear. Someone please shit in my bag. I deserve it." Orton was quick to notice the tweet. He responded with a thinking face emoji. Trent is currently not booked to match for Sunday's AEW Double or Nothing card. He could possibly be an entrant in the Casino Battle Royal. Cute stuff. Any was it you? Were you the one that shit in the bag and they thought it was Orton? It's very similar build.
I have a similar build to Orton.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
No, that's not even true. Orton's a lot better shape than I am. No, unless you brought the bag up to the concourse where I was hiding out playing video games. And then no, it wasn't me.
Okay.
God, man, people, what is this? Please, the ratings are nowhere near for both companies where you need to be playing around.
Yeah, not at all. Speaking of playing around, this is a story I didn't have last night. I covered the Steph thing with them moving to Peacock to the cock. I don't want to read all this copy from it. Pretty much is trying to save face for the $9.99 a month network, not doing, for them cashing in and then moving on to the next thing. And that's really what she puts over is to the marketing people of we want to be ahead of the curve, not too far ahead, but we never want to be behind. So they're always doing a little bit breadcrumb trail. She's saying what they're really doing without saying it. But where the frig did that go? Sorry. No. Oh, well, last night they hosted and we're animal lovers, so I don't want to scoff, and we love our pets more than almost anything, but they hosted a live Instagram funeral for Larry the pig, Alexa Bliss's pig that passed away. And I heard that it was sick, and she even put out that veterinarians wouldn't work on it, and then she had to go to Raw, and it passed away while she was there. And I don't know if that had anything with her emotional state, ripping up the script or anything, if that had nothing to do with it whatsoever. But here we are on social media again. And I understand that the pig was a part of her social media life or what have you. And dude, it turns into this big look at me and my pink-haired boyfriend or fiance, and we're in this weird cool kids. We can do whatever we want on social media, even though it makes us no money whatsoever. Or they were actually taking money to donate to a charity for pigs or what have you. But everything that I do on TV means absolutely nothing. My career means nothing. What brought me here to celebrity means nothing. I have to do an egregious look at me, weird, I don't know, post-mortem for my pig thing on Instagram, bro. And WWE retweeting it, not giving a fuck about creative whatsoever.
So WWE retweeted that.
Yep. Her live watch along watching. And is that Ryan Satin just being a complete mark too? I don't know who's running WWE Twitter. I know he does Fox Twitter, but I wouldn't doubt that was him too.
I have no idea. I mean, this is a tough spot because we are animal lovers, and I understand that. It's got to be super tough because it's almost feels like, I don't think it's Rip, but her pig was dying. She's trying to find a veterinarian that can treat the pig, even transporting it, which couldn't be done. She gets called to go to Raw and leave the pet, but it's not used at all on Raw. Now, if that's because she's too upset or whatever, but also at the same time, you called her away from the pig. I just know the way these people operate sometimes, and I hate to speculate on that point, but then hopefully she got back in time to be with the pig, which passed away overnight. It's tough, man. It's really tough. Yeah, from a business standpoint, it's almost in a way you want to raise money for a rescue, or so this doesn't happen to other people. I can understand that, but then again, it's social media, man. It's like you feel like rather if something happened to me or one of us, we're going to internalize that or keep it within the group, and then eventually talk about it. But it seems like the first inclination or instinct is to pick up the phone and do all the public stuff first before you have even a chance to privately figure any of this stuff out.
It's
and I did the same thing for our feral buddy, but I'm not on the level that she isn't known for anything but my true self right now.
If you were on TV doing right to censor, would you go home if your feral buddy passed away?
I wouldn't do it. I'm from a different era though.
Yeah.
Would I be tempted to do it? I don't even know, because like I said, we were alive when social media and all these different mindsets didn't even exist.
This is the advanced. Well, I mean, we came through it, but this is the advanced version of growing up and living in it. Now you see what it's like. This is their
We're not indoctrinated to social media. It's not. No. We were alive when computers weren't even invented. So think about that, which I'm proud of, because I get to see the difference.
Yeah. And now it's just a normalcy, a sickness of they don't care. And will they use that in their own sick way? And will she be in a scene with the pig from fucking Firefly Funhouse in the next month?
I don't know. I wouldn't want to be reminded of that with a wrestling skit that'll live forever. I wouldn't want anybody. Like I said, it's very tough. We're both animal lovers. We both have lost animals, and it still stings. It never goes away. But doing this type of stuff, and then you have people tweeting asking how this is what you open yourself up to, that when you're ready to kind of not think about it anymore and kind of try to not have it weigh you down, you're still going to have people tweeting, emailing, messaging, doing whatever to ask you the different things. Like you can't escape it on your own time.
It's just the Lexi Kaufman persona shining brighter now than your WWE fucking is based off of, sympathy. But
and your character would celebrate the pig dying.
It would have a
like the opposite of what they would.
Yeah. It'd have all that type of shit. And I heard that there was some Bray, like I had heard on K100 about, Bray having mental issues. That's what the health breakdown was, and still kind of selling for things of like, putting over how they effed over his character broke him. You know what I mean? He's better than this and all this type of stuff, man. It's unbelievable to me of what people are doing online to sell for things that should be completely private. You know what I mean? Like to do, what do you expect that to do? Because, and they brought this up on K100, if you're doing that kind of stuff, who's going to hire you to be a top guy? Even though it's Mental Health Awareness Month and they try and make normal out of it and like something we need to be aware of, like these are multi-billion-dollar companies we're talking about here, and you have the chance to be the top icon, but you're showing that you don't have the mental wherewithal to run with the ball like a Randy Orton does.
It's not going to change.
And with all genius, there's madness. And that's something that has to be weighed as well, right? If you're usually the most brilliant players have some craziness about them.
Yeah, but then they see that they've gotten to him. Maybe they got to him the first time and he sold for it. And then the whole thing with the reinvention and then doubling down to try to destroy that just for fun. These people don't think about business. They're making the money with TV rights deals. I said it earlier, this Nick Khan model that they're trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
They don't care about Bray Wyatt drawing money.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be fun to mess with him. This is their playtime. This is their recreation, doing what they're doing to Bray.
I saw Liv posted that she's pregnant the other day too, just out of nowhere. Posted Liv Morgan. So
she's pregnant?
Yeah. Posted like baby bump that shit just out of nowhere. Like this is how they're breaking it down, man. Like nobody I thought about saying something to IRS when we were on the show to try and get a little inside scoop, and I was like, nah, man, I'm not even gonna fuck with it. Something else.
Didn't she say not too long ago that she was in the ring saying she really wants it?
She wants it bad. She was showing that she fucking can do top rope ranas and fucking springboard this and da 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 da. Now, chicken farms and babies, baby. Rich Bocchini reflects on how WWE trains commentators in wake of Adnan Virk's release. He sat down with WrestleLink and said, it was interesting. There was a voiceover room where I spent hours honestly calling the same match over and over and over and over and over again. Me, Corey Graves, a lot of time, Matt Bloom and Byron Saxton would come in. We'd have the talent come in and call a couple matches just to get a feel for it. Something as simple as, oh, wow, I can slow down now because you have to explain something here. It gives a different perspective of it. But to say that there's somebody coaching you all day, it's really not like that. It's set up, at least when I was there. Michael Cole was able to video call in and he can produce you right through the headset and kind of work with you. But he has only so many hours in a week as well. It's not a constant thing. A lot of people, it's just trial and error and then go out there and doing it and hoping for the best, hoping you figure it out. And then Adnan Virk's replacement, Jimmy, is for the announce team is set. It's American Ninja Warrior announcer Jimmy Smith set to join WWE Raw to replace Adnan Virk. As noted, Virk and WWE parted ways on Tuesdays just after a month of partnership. You can check out Virk's post-departure thank you statement. But supposedly this guy, from Bellator and UFC is going to jump right in. And he even tweeted out the other day, my favorite, I've been a fan since Bruiser Brody and name somebody else, from 70s or what have you. Maybe it was even Mr. Perfect. I can't remember the other one. But dude, like trying to get over. But here's the thing. If you don't know that your job is not to just do play-by-play, but to facilitate a heel's heat or how to get over a baby face or the emotion, and you think you're going to go out there and call it like baseball or a fight, you're going to be exposed. Because the Adnan Virk dude had good energy and professionalism, but when he's putting over the heels as the fucking well-oiled tag team and Graves has to shit on him, he's instantly exposed as not the right guy for the job. Meanwhile, we got Timmy Baltimore on the sidelines ready to go, knows everybody on the roster and how to get things over and how to react properly, along with plenty of others in this business. But we keep going to guys who have a legacy, UFC and Bellator. You get that spot, you're no slug, but that doesn't mean you know your job in wrestling and as an announcer. It's two completely different things.
It's two completely different things, but look at somebody like Amaro Ronaldo. I think that the technique and the presentation, first of all, it's harder to do because what you're doing is you're not calling what you're seeing, because you would say, this sucks. This person can't wrestle. If you're calling a real legitimate thing of somebody, whether they have the talent or not. And I believe that needs to be reintroduced.
You think there should be more of a sports-based reality?
I think there should be that you got to get better or this commentator is going to shit on you.
But how does a commentator do that and then get Nigeria? Ha, 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 ha.
You don't, because then what you do is you go back to Bellator and UFC, because all right, you do have to, like Tony Romo and Jim Nance had to get their chemistry down, and they called games, but they didn't call the same exact game over and over. They practiced what they were practicing was their chemistry, the timing, the way Romo had to commentate, and he still went off the rails, and it was amazing. He was the best. He got $20 million a year for being different. That's not what Vince wants. That's not what WWE wants. Say the words, say it like Vince, or say it like a 75-year-old man, or say it with no emotion. Because what they think is, I heard this when I was commentating, it's like two guys sitting on the couch. Dude, if I'm sitting on the couch with you or someone else, I'm like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah,
I'm not sitting there going,
yes,
he's a very, did you know that the diatribe of this promo, like it's fuck you, dude. This guy,
the abhorrent egregiousness of this is
it's abhorrent. Let's call it what it is. WWE and pro wrestling in general is an inferior TV presented product. You have to commentate down to their level.
Yeah.
That's what it is. UFC, baseball, football, basketball, hockey, all the real sports. Your emotion, Joe Rogan's like the best the best color commentator in probably the history of sports, outside of Romo, who's current. Then you had Madden, you had Gruden. These are all based on emotions and charisma. And McAfee has it, they're taking it away.
Yeah, but it's also about knowledge of the sport too, which I like with Morrow, because Morrow's a true fan who knows all the history and the moves.
Yeah, where did that get him?
Yeah, exactly. But that's what you need. Obviously, his mental capacity plays into that too. And
his mental capacity, but you know why? If they fostered and encouraged and cultivated him being, here's the way to look at it. Oh, Morrow's so excited and he loves it. He's a mark. It's almost like, how dare you enjoy the matches while you're commentating? You see what I'm saying? Oh, we want the excitement and enthusiasm, but if you're too excited and too enthusiastic, you're a mark, so we don't respect you and we're going to fuck with you. We don't want you to actually enjoy your job.
Right. And do it better than everybody else who's doing it, better than Cole, bringing something new and fresh to it. I just think there's always going to be that you kind of are just another character, and you have to be in order to facilitate the phony world of wrestling to make it look like a Joe Rogan real, while you have the professionalism of, getting over who needs to get over.
Yeah, I can see the commentators standing up when Rhea Ripley trips over her own feet and goes, "Oh God!" She hit her, or the complete misses during the whip. You see how you can commentate these matches. There could be 7 matches that are the Drew, Lashley, Sheamus type things where you're like, "Holy shit, these guys are killing each other." Then you have Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax versus Natty and Tamina, and you're like, you're expected to react the same way. Right there, you proved this is phony bullshit, and your commentary is phony and fed. I'm not trying to down it because it's a tough job, but
sure,
you have to, you can't have it both ways. And that's what WWE wants to. They want you to have the same enthusiasm and realism in your commentary that you would for Bellator or UFC or any other sport. Yeah. But then they want you to turn around and present the fake, phony stuff that we just saw zombies eat the Miz. And here we are.
Yeah, Joey Styles would have scoffed at that. Like,
No, he would have, and that's what made Joey a great commentator.
Right,
when something sucked, it was like, oh God.
Yeah, or a guy talking shit, he'd be like, oh, shut the fuck up. But then when it came to the technical of calling chain wrestling, he was, the best possibly there was, knowing all the moves and putting things together. So it's, again, that's what I would say you need to shoot for, not lock a kid in a windowless room and do the same match over and over and over and over again while Michael Cole calls in and guys come in to check on you, bring you some bread and water. Hey, how's it going in here? What match do you think it was that he had to watch over and over and over again?
What was the favorite of that girl, Tough Enough? The Alicia Fox and They purposely gave them a hard match to commentate, and it should not Rock and Hogan, not Austin and Rock, or Hogan and the Warrior.
You're never going to see that again. You're going to see Alicia Fox versus fucking whoever, like that's if you can do that, if you can do Lana versus
dude, all I want to do, just give me, like Russo said, just give us one night. Because if I'm on commentary and the girls come out, I'll be like, oh, these are the Johnny A specialists coming right now. Let's see what's up here. Dude, I'll just take the head. I know I'm fired. See you later, Vince. Take the headsets off.
Be like, I would have said what you want me to, but I don't have any script. It got ripped up 35 minutes ago. I just got to go on. Alicia Fox versus Melina. Oh shit, that was another one that kind of got swept under the rug pretty quickly. Was Velveteen Dream getting canned last week after being supposedly backstage at SmackDown, and then everyone's like, it's about time after all this shit where they, whatever salacious homoerotic solicitation he was trying to do of underage minors back when. There was a weird story that he like did some damage to cars out in the NXT parking lot. I don't know, some shit. I don't know if there was tape that got buried of that. I had heard that rumor, but he went up to SmackDown. I'm wondering if it has nothing to do with either of those, or Strike 3 maybe. And somebody tested him and he didn't pass the test and he was gone the next day that way. Why would they hold him under contract to bring him up just to do a false hope to fire him, to fuck with him too? That's another possibility. But I think somebody tested him and that story hasn't come out yet.
Yeah. I mean, it makes no sense of how maybe they won a lawsuit for firing him right then and there. Since there was really no legal recourse on that. It was very strange. Has a ton of talent, but unfortunately, I think the accusations, and this is the thing too, I don't know all the details. We've gone back and forth with talking about this story, and there may have been new details that came out about it. I know there was two underage people too. There's one with
voicemails, and there's one with written text. So I think two different.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the court of public opinion, whether guilty or innocent, has already deemed him guilty.
Right. But
so
they're
matter.
Off of some old cancel culture shit. I think there's layers to this shit. When we were on Russo brand, Raw and SmackDown, and saying something's going on behind the scenes, why would you have that show ripped up and then give everybody all that time? No Braun, no Miz and Morrison. All that Braun and Morrison did were pre-taped live house show event things. No Team Glow Crotch wasn't there.
They might have all been there.
Braun
was definitely backstage, but they might have been there, but it's so weird how they just had to fill time with 4 different matches.
There's got to be some inciting incident that the world doesn't know about for that to happen. Right. And there was more. I can't even remember who else we named. That's kind of the regulars that weren't on TV whatsoever. Because why would you have Cedric Alexander cut a 3-minute predicated promo over everything we saw? These guys
was predicated. I think that's him improving. Look at me 100 times. Come on, man. Come on, man.
That was a good come on, man. I was paused as soon as you said it. Jackson Riker says he and Elias work because they have similar beliefs. Current superstar Jackson Riker said, that was right. Contributor Drew Rice to discuss a variety of topics, include Riker's relationship with Elias. Riker says he's enjoyed working with Elias and they work well together due to shared beliefs. Riker and Elias recently worked a program with Braun and Shane featuring a losing handicap match at Fastlane. Says Elias has been great. He's awesome. He's a good person. First of all, he's worked hard and come from the indies and stuff like that. So we have a lot in common, our beliefs, our work ethic, whether it be dieting or faith, that's what we talk about. I think we have a good dynamic because there are moments where he's comedic and I'll play off of that just a little bit. We've had some fun with the backstage stuff with just kind of our facial expressions and bouncing off each other. And I think that something like that can evolve. Riker says that while he doesn't know what the future holds, he and Elias do work well together. That goes on with more of this, I'm under contract and I'm not saying anything that's real. Fucking gimmick. Dangerous words when your brothers who spoke up about Trump and got thumped out of the locker room by Owens and Sami Zayn's virtue signaling to say that you think the same. Is that saying that Elias is on the same page with them and how they're real men and standing up for what they believe and not daring to? We also heard the strange story, which we never continued on Master Shoot Theater, of Drake Wirtz standing up with an saying all lives matter and like almost getting his ass kicked in a meeting, I guess, and that's what led to his firing. Like, instead of just saying shut the fuck up, and we know these meetings are bullshit. You can have your own politics.
This was when he got fired. Like, that was the last straw. He said that.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. They were talking BLM stuff, and he just couldn't. He couldn't. And also the fucking jumping on the local C-SPAN thing with his NXT shirt on, I'm sure was the, just like done, just waiting. So, go like get woke, stay broke, I guess here, you can't stay small in the locker room and not bring that shit there to know that this is a carny ass business. How do you get this far in today's day and age, not knowing to shut the fuck up? Or the fact of what was proven with the Forgotten Sons, we support the troops and and here we got 3 veterans and you 2 fuckers are gone and you're going to be Elias's roadie now. And Elias marginalized fully too. Is he, because they have like and similar fucking things that like that, but they didn't want to get rid of Elias yet? I don't know, man.
Well, it's a very tough spot to be in, like, to work. Now we've said things about certain athletes and entertainers and stuff. Just do what you're supposed to. Don't involve the politics. Don't involve whatever you believe because you have a character. You said it with Alexa Bliss. It sounds shitty to say it, but just do the thing that you're supposed to do, whether you're entertaining, playing a sport, and on your off time, you can do what they're doing is they're politicizing everything. I think on both ends, it could be kind of wrong. Why are you bringing up the Black Lives Matter things unless you're not bringing it up publicly? Do you see what I mean? We talked for months about how they should have made Lashley, MVP, the Hurt Business representatives and role models for the Black youth. Titus O'Neil, even other people within the company. They're having internal meetings about this, trying to figure things out, but they're not like. They're stepping halfway into it, like you said about the Finn Balor stuff with the For Everyone.
Right.
And Drake Wirtz maybe he wanted to be fired. This is the other thing that I said before. Maybe he wanted out of there. And he figured if I open my mouth up, I can go do the thing I was really meant to do. It's tough because, and I'm trying to dissect it within my brain, because if you're going to be the political commentator, if you're going to be the political activist, there's plenty of money to be made and plenty of time to spend fully invested into that. You could be another Ben Shapiro. You can be on the liberal side. You can do these things and go into that. But when you're in a sport or entertainment or sports entertainment and you take one stand, you're alienating 50% or more of the audience.
I think they're just terrible workers and they're not thinking like that. They're actually having visceral reactions, thinking that while you have New Day and whoever else in the room that you have to stand up and say that shit like that.
That's like saying we have a black friend. I have a black friend. You know what I mean? Like, I like you. Don't come after me first. Right. Yeah. That's really what, then you need to have black, then you're suppressing New Day. If they were, and Cedric had Black Lives Matter on his tights, you're suppressing what they really believe to. Nobody's coming out of this looking good.
No,
on either side.
But what should really be happening, because we're wrestlers, is being super carny and in the mafia. And we're all in the same mob. Doesn't matter if you're gender, me, you, New Day, whoever. It's almost above race at this point of where we should be, where we're using as workers BLM and all this shit to our advantage to make money and get a fucking emotion reaction. And it doesn't matter what color you are, because really you're a wrestler and you know that everything is such bullshit, but it's not. They're fucking there having real reactions in meetings, trying to bring what they should know is bullshit world politics that's also a work into WWE and having a real mark reaction in front of it instead of going, we're the supreme workers. We're going to take all this shit from Antifa to BLM to gay rights and make a fucking fuck ton of money off it. Nope. They're having real reactions in the locker room instead of coming together as the mafia they should be and putting race and all that and using race as a work to make more money.
Slaughter and Hogan. Slaughter basically supported Saddam Hussein in Iraq. I mean, they had to have protection on him, but it was basically an over gimmick. The Iron Sheik, Nikolai Volkov. Wrestling has always hit the raw nerve of culture. The culture wars, whatever, and even the South, New Jack, Mustafa, Smoky Mountain,
sure,
bringing it out there. It's telling, oh, hey, OJ, good work, too less to worry about.
Exactly.
What do we got now? You're a coward. You're a coward.
We got pigs fucking funerals. That's
I'm really mad at you. So, and we're gonna make a match later. We're gonna have a match. Yep, plexiglass sleeper. The most honest man in professional wrestling history is never to be seen again.
I think I may have a new alt finish aside from the Comey clutch, and it may be the plexiglass sleeper. I think I'm just going back to sleeper hold. And it's just for you. That's all I give a fuck about. Will Ospreay gives update on his neck injury. According to Ospreay's below tweet, things aren't looking good. He's been referred to for another MRI, and his lower back could have the same issue there as he does his neck. He wrote, my physio pop over to the house today, and after further digging, I'm now being referred for another MRI in my lower back, as well for fears I may have the same issue in my neck. Things ain't looking good, but I'm determined to come back this year. Thanks for all the support. Oof. I could easily do my New Japan wrong style rant here, and I don't want to because the guy's hurt, and that's not cool. And but it's self-induced, and you're a guy who's dealt with a lot of neck injuries. What's your advice for him now of where he is probably in a fearful state? Should he be trying to come back in a year? Should he be worrying about other things? What big brother advice can you give him here?
You just got to get your body right. I mean, I just suffered a flare up on my lower back injury from a compression fracture. My guess would be with the way Will Ospreay moves. And I think he's done a couple spots on the apron where he pogo sticked his neck right on top of his head that we're aware of. Plus that New Japan ring is stiff and you're taking bumps and you're flipping. Even the impact of the flips where he lands on his feet is jolting and compressing your spine. He's just got to get right. And what I would do if I were Will, and like you said, whether I don't know the kid personally, and even if it was somebody we didn't even really care for, we would never wish that kind of recurring pain. This is going to be a lifelong thing for Will to deal with, as any wrestler who doesn't, even if you don't have the injuries, the bump card, I'm sure Rip and everybody else is dealing with aches and pains every day. But lower back and neck at the same time, I can speak on both of those. When it hits and it flares up, it is debilitating. Like I literally couldn't touch weights. That's why I bought that squat axe. I have to, at any cost, I cannot allow that kind of regression again. And I'm not even wrestling. This kid needs to get his body right. And if it's a mental and emotional thing at this point, he needs to set himself up some way, form, or fashion during the off time to not need wrestling. Or if this does happen, he can choose to do the other thing. Is that commentary? Is that working in the office in New Japan? Is that something completely unrelated? This is the time he needs to build that brand.
That's what Bo Dallas kind of did, right? Like the writing on the wall.
People kind of snicker at the real estate, but this kid probably makes more money in real estate than wrestling right now with the market. Yeah, even if it's Will Ospreay doing real estate or doing whatever, go back to school, learn the trade, build your brand, start a podcast, do whatever you need to do right now to make the best use of your time. Because when you don't have the choice and your neck and back are going out, dude, it's a horrible existence. But when you sit there and go, I got this other thing and I better get out earlier rather than later, it's probably going to be, better for you in the end.
Yeah, whatever your other forte is, man, aside from being super athletic and acrobatic and having to use your body in that way, you got to start working a lot smarter.
Let me answer Canadian Spaceman. This is something I deal with too, whether to use heat or cold, hot or cold, ice or heating pad. Usually I like using a heating pad, but I'm wrong in a way, because when my back feels tight means it usually feels inflamed. When you have inflammation, the ice reduces the inflammation, and then the heat kind of loosens the muscles and does that kind of thing. So I think on the side of, because it sucks, heat feels better. There you go. Massage gun too.
That's what you need right here, buddy, too. Definitely.
Before and after every workout. I like heat because it's easier and it feels better. Having ice on you just doesn't feel right, but it works and it reduces the inflammation. If it's your back, get one of those ice packs that Velcro, so you don't have to, even you can stand up and walk around and still have the ice pressured against you. Hey, if anybody knows Will Ospreay and they want to reach out, and I can at least give him perspective. If he's really down or he thinks it's the end of the world, tell him to reach out to me. I'd love to talk to the kid.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, that'd be a great one to have on the roster that we could.
Jargo probably has his phone number.
Jargo probably gets one pretty easy.
I don't mean that being a smart ass. Jargo's a big New Japan fan.
Yeah, but if I was going to put somebody with them producer wise, it'd absolutely be Jargo. I mean, I try and pick the best producer that we have with fit for the position with the talent, and obviously he'd be the man there. But that's what he does need to do, is start thinking about how to do what he didn't do, which is develop character. He's so talented athletically and doing synchronized spots or whatever, that isn't what I'm doing in the ring. But it brought him to this point. And now it's time to, how do we find out about Will Ospreay, the person, instead of just being impressed by the technical acumen, and that's a whole new avenue to make money down, because he's kind of kept that from the world because of how he wrestles. What if now that can be, harvested, and cultivated? Hopefully the charisma's there.
I know people would love to hear the Vader story, because he had a big, off camera feud with Vader. And that would be an interesting story to hear.
Absolutely. So we'll try and reach out, man, but that's a tough news. And I know you've been through that, multiple times. So I figured
power washing also hurts your back. I wouldn't recommend power washing.
No. Okay. But it'll get you a spot, on
one girl is tired of it. Is that a story on that? Your favorite doesn't need to learn how to wrestle and can do this after 2 matches.
Yeah, dude.
She doesn't want to power wash anymore.
She doesn't want it to get out there. Yeah, I don't know why Jade Cargill keeps posting this type of stuff. Again, I do know, because like we said, they grew up in this social media indoctrination. They don't know how to turn it off. And she also doesn't know the business she's in and how to operate politically. Like, they just can't stop themselves on Twitter.
One more exercise here too. I hate to cut you off. WF Mike T, he used to do strongman contests. The belt squats are awesome. The reason why I picked this one, and I'll do it in my review, there's no shearing on my back. The weights were underneath me, but that reverse hyper, I'm definitely looking at, if we have the room, getting one of those. Those things really do help your lower back, and they're.
What about the inversion tables?
This gives me traction, because the weight pulls down. So my back actually feels like it has that inversion table type feel. Yeah. The only other thing with the inversion table is being upside down.
I don't like
the ankle part of it hurts my knee after a while. It's a lot of pressure on my ankles. So yeah, I mean, if you can get an inversion table or something like that, that can definitely help. But chiropractors are actually speaking out, some of them, especially mine, that there are some negatives to, I mean, it's like anything else. 2 months from now, it'll be great. 2 more months away from that.
Eat eggs, don't eat eggs.
But the belt squats in general, as far as opposed to barbell squats, definitely do for anybody with shoulder, neck, spinal, any kind of issues around that, will definitely have more benefit than a negative part to that.
That's good. Well, hopefully he can get out whatever he needs to have worked out, man, because neck and back at the same time is a motherfucker. I got to believe. Balor, in terms of who he is, Balor felt like his current iteration of his WWE character is the closest to who he's ever been. So the current Finn Balor character is the most accurate to my personality in real life, the way I'm performing it now. Balor says, I think in the past it was a little different, but I feel this is the closest to who I am. This is about him going back up on the road. But he said, when the office came to me and said, hey, we know you need a little time to regroup and refocus, and we can use your help in NXT. Would you be open to an option of returning there for a little while? Maybe it's 3 months, maybe it's 6 months, but you recalibrate your character and then go back to Raw or SmackDown. 3 months turned into 6 months, turned into winning the title, turned into a year and a half now. I wouldn't change it for the world. It's been a great learning experience for me. Ultimately, Balor noted he wasn't thrilled with his last main roster run and wanted to give it another go in the future. He says, I grew up as a wrestling fan watching WWE. That's essentially where I want to be performing. I feel like in my last run there, I wasn't doing justice for myself, and I just needed to change something. And then the change came in NXT to kind of figure out who I was again. I've managed to do that at some level. I'm definitely hoping that the return to Raw or SmackDown will happen in the future. I mean, they tried to do a soft touch gay angle with him, and then that was it. After the Demon and Fonzie didn't get over and being hurt and doing Will Ospreay level risks, and then being hurt and sent back down. And then once you're sent down, to come back up, he's a guy who could come back up. But dude, I watched the match with him and Killer Cross. I was so hopeful it was going to be awesome, that Cross would just be annihilating him and a lot of falsies from underneath fighting up. Dude, it was 60-40 Balor beating down Cross until Cross chokes him out, bro. I felt bad because I'm such a, there's so much money on Killer Cross and he's been cool to us. And this was just like, Balor, I feel like we're both going to get over and we'll both be up there. Dude, it was the complete wrong match for the main event. I felt really bad for both of them. They worked their asses off. The offense was clean, but you just watch Cross going from being a monster to, by the end of the match, he looks smaller than Balor, bro. Like it looked
like he was cooperating with them too much, right?
And then he'd sell. Baylor's knocking him down with punches, and then Balor hits him with something big. And then Cross just stands up and is behind him with the crazy face. Like no sell off of that, but he was able to knock him down. Like it should have been the complete opposite. Cross is just on him, beating the shit out of him, picking him up, slamming him down. You think that's it for him. Goes for the falsie, or goes for it, falsie, then fucking beat him down again. Even show Cross is malicious and pulling him up himself. They didn't do that kind of stuff. Nothing, bro. It was 50-50 booking, which is wrong out of the gate, but it really was 60-40 Balor with fucking Cross going over. Not a good look to get back on the roster.
Well, nobody can really have an honest discussion because of feelings, I guess, of what certain things need to look like. Everybody has to be, in their mind, get their shit in and all that stuff rather than tell that story. Has Finn Balor been a babyface that's ever had sympathy?
Not really. He's been a demon.
And the demon, and you just want to see him do it. Now, is he going to bring the demon and then completely squash Cross? I mean, he's still going to be 6 inches shorter than him and still be like 70 pounds lighter than him.
Yeah, dude.
Balor has to look at that because he hasn't evolved.
He's
devolved.
Is this where their head's at? Oh, Cross, he's got to get more than that, or he's got to work 50-50 because he's a former WWE champion and you're in NXT as a champion. So you even getting to work him is the shine. So that's why we work.
Cross is getting the rub from Balor.
And that's complete. Balor should be there to do business for Cross, and Cross should look dominating a former WWE champion. That's how Cross gets over. Not just the fact that he's facing him, they go 50-50 and it's shine. That's the worst way to book this, and that's exactly what they did, dude.
There's a lot of things wrong with that, and no baby faces there look at themselves because the office is filled with marks that if you're losing matches and getting beat up and not getting enough offense, then you're not good anymore. You must not be good. The work becomes a shoot. Whereas if you wanted to look at it, he could be like, my God, if this guy just dominates me and I have to rethink and maybe I have to redo how I work or how I look at it, and this guy just keeps beating me down and I can't, then I bring the demon back for the fourth match. You just got how many months worth of story out of that? But the office will not allow that vulnerability. And that's why baby faces jumpstart matches, baby faces get heat. The heels, dare I say, get more sympathy than the baby faces.
Yeah. And
that's
then
why nobody watches your shit.
Being strong after, like up behind him. I think
that's why nobody watches, because it's like, this shit's not real. I'm done.
Yep. And I think Balor in his mind goes, just what you said. If I look weak, they're going to consider me weak and I'll never get back on the main
It's not his fault. It's the system's fault.
Yeah, exactly. But his whole thing is, I should not look weak, but I should look like I'm fighting from underneath the whole time and I can't be put away. And then what they could do with the choke out is, you never pin me. You never knock me down, Ray. You never knock me down. You know what I mean? So like, instead of that story that's classic and whatnot and doesn't hurt him by not getting pinned, he's got to look strong. I just like, play your part the right way. You know, the guys are like, guys who aren't supposed to be the knight in shining armor are like, I want to be that too. And well, you're the fucking elf who shoots the fucking bow and arrows. You know, I want to be okay. So you go be that, and we'll see how the match works out. And then when they come to the back and go, oh, that didn't feel right. Like we should have done.
I don't think they even do that.
No, you don't think so?
Because they look at the spots. Did we get the spots off? They don't think about the business and what they have to look forward to. Like, man, everything looked good out there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
And that's the brutality of it, dude. It was bad. There was a really rough Cameron Grimes, Eli Drake, and $1 Million Man segment that should have paid off business from great vignettes too in the ring. And bro, it just fell flat on its face. And I was just like, damn, because I've been enjoying the shit out of that and Killer Cross, obviously. And what should have been the two highest segments on the show were really, really bad, dude. I felt bad for all the guys involved. And one guy, I don't know if I feel bad for him, is John Cena. Our final story of the day, as we started off a little bit, and we'll finish that way. Yeah, a lot of people coming to bat for John Cena after he does his Mandarin apology, you know, with State of Taiwan. But I was watching the Fox and Friends, whatever clip with Tyrus, and he goes to bat for him as a good brother and puts over that Cena gave him his WrestleMania moment. He's kind of eternally thankful for that, but that goes right over the Fox News reporters' heads. And then they start getting into it back and forth about, he goes, well, if we didn't have it that way, you wouldn't have those expensive shoes that you like so much, like getting a China dig on. And she's like, you're the one who's wearing mint green shoes today. Da, 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 da. And then she goes,
so everybody looked like shit in this segment.
Right. At the end, the lady comes over the top with like, so you don't think the people of Taiwan want to consider themselves to be a free state? Like, and he just has to hustle off. Like, she's pretty much saying, so you're saying oppress people who want their own identity and are probably, you know, led as slave labor for your iPhone and your shoes. You don't think that they should have a right and that they're not being really crimes against humanity against them? Like, says it like in a way that really drives it home there at the end of like, that's what we're really talking about here. Do you want to talk about the Chinese masters and what they really do and why they're hot about saying that Taiwan is not its own, you know, country and that it's a state in the republic? Like, all this under the surface of Cena's apologizing while Tyrus tries to good brother for him. And then JBL as well, where they're putting over, he's done 600 plus Make-A-Wishes. Great, awesome, noble stuff. But he's also trying to get over in Hollywood and with Fast and the Furious and making $160 million off of that. And NBC says, how dare you fuck with our franchise? Was Cena really trying to do some SJW and Taiwan should be free? Or does that just America of like, we grew up with made in Hong Kong, made in Taiwan? You don't think of it as, oh, Taiwan, the state republic of the communist regime, China. Like, how I'm going to put it over that way. Tyrus tries to frame it, and like, this guy does so much PR. It was just a misspoke. And I can put that over too, you know, but it does beg the question of, we are addicted to Chinese goods and products. We as a country don't care what fucking slave labor laws are broken through capitalism, that Taiwan does want to break free from China's regime, and that China goes, we will fucking stomp you in the ground if you try and wake up again. And their response to Cena having to apologize that nobody even thought this was a heater thing turns it into a political issue, where this open discourse of discussion that's always a shh, we don't talk about that at the dinner table, is now out in the public in a way that it's drawn in there. But here comes JBL, who's got a Fox fucking show, Tyrus, who's got to protect his stuff. Is China the one pulling the strings to say back Cena on the apology, and the workers are going to fucking work at the end of the day to make sure their spot's solidified?
It's interesting that you say that, because what you just said, Fox is supposed to be not the anti-China, but exposing all the China Joe stuff and Hunter Biden and the things that, and also the virus with Wuhan, China. For that, they've been calling for accountability with all these things that are China related, correct?
Yeah.
So it's interesting, and maybe exposing that now, or they're willing to provide, protection for Cena because they're close to Cena. There's no easy answer, except for the fact what it does is it reintroduces everybody to the shut up and dribble with the NBA and LeBron.
Yes.
And when Daryl Morey from the Houston Rockets said the people that were protesting in Hong Kong deserved to be heard and deserved democracy, LeBron called him misinformed and defended China. So these little things, and like I said in the beginning of the show, nobody's genuine anymore on any kind of mainstream media. You can be as angry as you want, or you can just say, they're all fucking liars. I'm going to live my life the best way I can live it. And that's all I can really do. Clean your room, as Jordan Peterson would say. Now, the interesting thing too is, and I don't mean interesting in a good way, are these people not aware of the drone footage and other things of the Muslims being loaded onto the trains, of the concentration camps?
How about the piece we watched where the guy blew the fucking stop sign and then went home on the WhatsApp and talked shit about after getting stopped by the police? And they brought him in, put him in a fucking Iron Maiden type contraption where he's handcuffed, where he has to say, I'm sorry, uncle, I'm sorry, to like a panel of police officers, that he won't ever talk bad about the Chinese government again. Every fucking thing that you do, and even in reaction, is watched, bro.
And we're this close to that right now here in the United States.
That people have already forgotten the civil liberties they've lost with the Patriot Act post 9/11, that what the NSA is capable of and possible of, and just not pulling the trigger. And it is happening in a way of YouTube channels not being remonetized. And
we're in it right now. For people to think we have to avoid this and we have to stop, or else we'll end up like China. It's already here, and it's been here. We just haven't. It's been a slow burn into that, and now it's just more people than ever are experiencing it. Doesn't mean that it wasn't there. John Cena can say and do whatever he wants, and obviously John had to protect the interest of the movie studio, of NBC Universal, and they debuted. Vin Diesel insisted that F9 premiere in China, because not because he's a Chinese spy or anything like that, because it did well. Who knows? No, but it does incredibly well in China, and plus China is pretty much opened back up, so you're going to make the most amount of money in the movie theaters. Theaters here it's all HBO Max and Amazon Prime.
Right.
You're not going to make the money. So there's no real conspiracy theory with that, but it comes down to following the money, as Papadon says. John Cena would have his career, and it really was just a gloss over that probably nobody would have even thought about. They're the ones that made it the mainstream story when they came down on him.
Right. And there's never have been anything, dude.
Because he literally said, I would blah, blah, blah. And I came to a country like here, and it was 3 seconds.
And then the brilliant man that he is, that taught himself via Rosetta Stones and dedication because he knew he wanted to break in there and to be our own CIA ambassador to China. Teaches himself Mandarin, and then he apologizes in Mandarin. And what does that do to the mindset of the 85%ers, Trumpsters, Nancy Browns, when they see John Cena, American hero, speaking complete Mandarin, dude? Like, woo, dude, could you imagine?
He learned that in order to go into China with the WWE, but
in the 80s, if fucking Stallone had to apologize for Rocky IV and he did it to Russia, all in Russian, how fucking people's heads would have, dude, just done. Or like, you know, apologizing in Vietnamese afterwards. Like, dude, people would lose their fucking mind. And that's where we are right here of like, is that cultural appropriation? I don't know. Is he really a sellout to China? China's are the masters. They've got John Cena speaking Mandarin. What the fuck? Like, people who don't know are like, the perception of that is that China owns John Cena to the point they can make him apologize not in English.
Yeah. I mean, he learned Mandarin for the WWE PR, but it's opted the opt. The Hill covered it and other places covered it, and they made him look. They didn't know he learned it on his own. They said he memorized it in Mandarin to do it for China, but it doesn't matter. Both sides of it have their own spin on it, but the truth is somewhere in the middle. But the optics are absolutely
the other, not
China double agent, right?
Yeah, not a man. And maybe that's the truth. Maybe that is, they owned it. They like John Cena. They love the Fast and the Furious and the crossover. They want him to learn Mandarin so he can go and do all that. But that's how a Chinese psyop would work on a high level. So then they can twist his nuts and say, look, we even made the whitest American Superman into I always go opposite of, and I don't know, I'm quoting the movie here of Full Metal Jacket. Inside every group, there's an American who wants to get out and da-da-da. Now it's the opposite, where China's like, inside every American, there's a Chinese who's got da-da-da, and they're bringing that out. So if we're conditioned to Full Metal Jacket is a part of Americana, right? And that mindset, and you see the opposite of that, holy shit, bro. Imagine what Vietnam vets who are still PTSD seeing that at fucking Dippin' Donuts are thinking.
Whew, man, this is yeah, I'm glad we're having a conversation, because it looks like everybody else is just going to have their talking points, and everybody's going to have. We realize, like we said, I'm on an Apple product. You're on a PC. These microphones, everything, the headphones are all made in China. Nothing is made in the United States anymore. It's all, or Taiwan. And there's a thing that said that the quality out of Taiwan is the quality out of Taiwan is much better than China. Some companies would say.
But some would say that's because they're more enslaved by China to create products, and they can't break away from their own. You know, that they're the slave class there.
Nobody seems innocent. I mean, Apple can turn around and talk about human rights and whatever rights for certain classes of people or anything like that, or certain demographics of people. But when it comes down to it, the Foxconn has suicide nets around their building. So you're housed up 13 deep in a dormitory. Nobody has a right in any way to speak on it one way or the other, as long as they're buying Apple products, as long as they're buying but the cost of doing it elsewhere, and companies have tried to do this to get away from that. There's made in the USA products, but guess what? They're immensely more expensive. I have a couple of fitness products here that are made and engineered and even assembled and shipped from the US, and they're considerably more expensive than something that's made in China. What are you going to do? Do you want to pay? Inflation's killing us right now. Are you going to lean more on the Chinese products, or are you going to bite the bullet and support American companies? Because there's not much left anyway. Even if you wanted to, it's virtually impossible.
And that's the problem, is our addiction to superstores and all that is tied into this at the ground level, where we just, through acts of convenience and not knowing the slave class labor that's going on to make SRF bands in fucking Beijing.
Yeah, I mean, that's the whole thing too. I wish I had a factory of American kids that I could employ. And let's look at it this way too. This is the problem with a society as well. And this is where we take advantage of Chinese people. Consumerism, things we think we need, but we don't really need. They're going against the opposite of minimalism and just accumulating things, hoarding things, always needing the new iPhone, always needing the new Mac, always needing the new Nikes. You know, these things that I've been trying to get away from, and successfully most times, people don't see it that way. Consumerism is really what's killing a lot of, because all of our economy here is not based on any kind of manufacturing, isn't based on anything besides us having to spend money. That's the only thing that keeps the country going. That's why stimulus checks went out and other things went out to pump the dollar. Even if we have to devalue the dollar, even if we have inflation, as long as people are still living outside their means and buying shit they don't need on credit, the country continues to go.
I don't think we'll ever have any problem with that, buying stupid out of our means, man. But someone said I got a little robotic during my rant there. I guess I don't know. It's just the Full Metal Jacket of whatever that Vietnam generation was, or the 80s generation of superiority of Americanism is now the guilt of it. And now when you see your American heroes turn to what has been identified as a communist enemy, even though we're hooked on their products and don't care about their capitalist slavery methods to produce those for our convenience, whether it's iPhone, Nike, what have you. And you see a hero like John Cena turn and speak Mandarin, and he might have been told they wanted him to do that for his movie stuff. That could all be a psyop on Cena too. Now they have the whitest American hero, G.I. Joe looking dude, down on one knee speaking Mandarin, and that optic to a generation that's 50 to, and I'll even say ours, 40 to 80 years old, that grew up during the Cold War era and before that, at the end of the Cold War era. That is a complete L for America, and that's what China wants overall, right? And they got it, no matter what the lip service is of the promo of I messed up this, that, or the other. The greater damage has already been done. And to watch wrestlers sell for it in a good brother way to back up Cena, that's fine, but there's a way bigger 40,000 foot view of this that is undoable now, you know?
And the fact that we're having a discussion could cause people a visceral reaction. Like, how dare you talk about this? You're missing. I think we're a lot more informed than most people, and also being more willing to admit that, yes, we have this stuff and it's a problem. See, that's where Tyrus at the end of that deal kind of got flummoxed, I guess. I didn't watch it, but she kind of like knocked him off.
The gotcha right at the end, which was like, well, what do you think the Taiwanese people think about that? And it's like, what are you going to go? They love being enslaved. What are you kidding me?
Well, what I was going to say was it's a problem and we should continue this discussion, but the segment ends and it's done and the news cycle's so quick. Wait, the problem's over. You know, we're not in Afghanistan anymore because the news doesn't say it. We don't have any of this stuff going on because the news moves so quick that these things can go by the wayside. There's no quest or purpose or cause that's constant anymore. Do you agree with that?
Yeah.
Like, we have a constant thing. Like, we want to try to see if we can never watch wrestling again, but it keeps, but there's no cause that, obviously when disclosure comes, maybe that's all going to be thrown by the wayside because now, the Independence Day aliens are here to fight us and we need to get together because we get along so well. We've proven that over the past year. So we can really put it aside.
Yeah, man. But that's
what do you think the future holds? John Cena is just going to become a bigger Hollywood star for this.
Oh, absolutely.
And he's going to get but people, this is the thing that's going to happen. The people, if he went the other way and defended America, the woke SJW, the Marxist, all the people that are aligned with that would not stop until he was destroyed. Right?
Right.
Now, the 85 million that we spoke about earlier, because he did this in the Mandarin language and apologized to China for saying what he said. What are those people going to do? Click. I'm not watching a movie. They're gonna speak out with their wallets.
They tried with De Niro, even when De Niro was going at Trump. This is bigger than that, because this isn't in-house. This gives you the Chinese boogeyman to fucking hate. You know what I mean? So,
but what they'll do is they're gonna just turn off to it, like they did the NFL, like they did the NBA. They're just gonna stop watching. It's not that they're like, I'm so mad, and it's like, dude, I don't have time for this. I got to go work. And there's a different mindset between those demographics, correct?
And this is interesting too. They'll never pull the trigger on this, but they say Cena may be coming back to wrestling, possibly as soon as SummerSlam, and I'm sure to help promote the movies, because I'm sure Nick Khan is getting $3 million from the budget of Fast and Furious, right? Or like that's the deals that he does. But now, when Cena comes out, will it be turncoat Sergeant Slaughter to China Cena? Do you do that to some degree, or you just keep him fucking Fruity Pebbles babyface?
They're going to do it, and he's going to get booed more than ever, probably, because the crowd is the people we're talking about.
Right.
Or you know what they're going to do? Not show up, and there's your tarps. I think it's going to be more, because when you're trying to charge $100 to $300 for an AEW TV, and WWE is going to raise their prices, you may just be like, I'm not supporting it anymore. And then your 1.62 may go down to a 1.1.
You don't want to see John Cena and the Bruce Lee button up with the whole Chinese kung fu outfit.
I'd love to see it, but we're looking at it as more parody.
Yeah. No, it would be parody. I'm just fucking making shit up in my mind. They're not going to do it. They're going to go Fruity Pebbles. They're going to sell a movie and be the same Hollywood bullshit fucking whores they always have been. But yalla, so will we here on the Friday Locker Room. Wrapped it up, Stevie. Plenty of strange and interesting talk, dude, from what's going to happen in the future. It's going to be a crazy 18 months, I think. The wrestlers who are under contract, I think they know it, and they're already done, and they don't give a fuck anymore from what I'm seeing.
Well, they're completely wrong, because they're not trying to build their own brands up. The thing that I said before is the current crop of people have social media success and these other things that came too easily, and they think they're more over than they really are. We have had to fight and claw and scratch for everything, and continue to do so. I'd rather be us than them, because they're in for a rude awakening.
Yeah. Oh, they're 5 years behind in the model. You know, they missed the wave. They're going to have to start from the bottom up, but HMG will be here to lift them up, man. Hopefully that some will rise up, and some are going to be affected mentally like they've never seen before. But we're affected mentally. Hopefully we can jump on a call with Billy Ray Valentine. You can check him out at Stevie Richards or at BWO Stevie on Twitter. He doesn't check it, but StevieRichardsFitness.com. You guys, Force USA for all your home gym needs. Use the code Stevie5.
No, there's no code anymore. I've upgraded because I'm an official, URL link. ForceUSA.com/Stevie, DiamondbackFitness.com/Stevie. I finally said it right. Also, the YouTube channel hitting 76,000 subscribers with 200 views on each video. So quite an accomplishment on both ends, mine and YouTube's for the shadow banning. But also Instagram. I've been posting a lot of stuff featuring companies that I appreciate their passion, and other people that have reached out to me. There's a yogi named Veer, who he's one of the people that helped me, get my spine and everything. I really, his kind of yoga is really, really good. No power washing required at all. Really happy about that. I asked him, he was like, what's that? And I go, it's an inside joke.
Does Shanky work in the office or no?
What's that? Veer and Shanky. Yeah. I was looking for Shanky to show me side bends with that. I forgot about that. Veer is an actual person's name, not just a wrestling name.
No.
But yeah, go there. Make sure to subscribe. Click the bell to get notified on the YouTube channel. And we even have happy birthday to Rob too. I saw that on Facebook. But if you could also bookmark the Amazon Associates link, that helps us buy stuff for the home gym. Doesn't cost you anything.
Yeah, we appreciate all the listeners here on Bin Hamin demonetized YouTube channel where you're getting it all for free, as well as twitch.tv/Hamin Media. I'll be back for the Friday night SmackDown Live self-help group, and maybe maybe I won't be. I'm going to party at my brother's camp, so maybe there won't be, depending on how loaded I get, because I don't want to drive. And yeah, man, everything's going down. ProWrestlingTees.com/Bin Hamin. Great Raw and SmackDown review, and had a lot of fun with Master Shoot Theater, which you can get officially at patreon.com/RussoTWC. Our own Mandarin already got out a little Johnny Cash Vince bit that we opened with. I was laughing my ass off at that this morning. The first 5 episodes are up on Ben Hamin YouTube channel if you want to go check those out, you guys. So everybody appreciate us supporting us at patreon.com/Hamin Media Group while we get things lined up for the move to Realm and redo the schedules, and a lot of new things coming that are going to shake people up where they're like, where's this? But then they get this. So just bear with us. A lot of new creative endeavors coming for us. And you never know with the future endeavors who might be joining the crew next. So Stevie, I appreciate you sitting through all the crazy headlines, great discussions this morning. We hope we can get Will Ospreay inspired, and hopefully that his injuries can be taken care of, man, based off of learning from those who came before him, who made those same, not mistakes, but had to fight those same battles. But yeah, Allah,
without the athleticism.
In the words of the great John Cena, I'm sorry, everybody. It's the Friday. It's the Friday locker room as we take it all the way home here. Hamin Media Group infidels. Yalla.
Japanese.